Let's head into the papers now, see what headlines are jostling for one's attention this morning on a Wednesday, beautiful Wednesday morning in Nigeria. And I have with me two gentlemen to do justice to understanding what these headlines are. Razak Olokoba is a public affairs analyst, and we also have social commentator Smart Akwejoye. Gentlemen, good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Nice to see you.
And good morning, viewers.
Yeah, exactly. Now, let's begin with the Daily Times. Daily Times is our first paper this morning, and it's saying on speakership, Buhari, APC adopt Gbajabiamila and zone principal post to North Central, Southeast, and South-South. And you can't reap where you didn't sow, Oshomole tells PDP. Right, it's getting quite more interesting now. The Daily Times, that's where we are. Let's move now to this day. This day saying, I will protect independence of the legislature, says Lawan. Youth group backs Senate leader Ndume adamant despite losing Borno governor's support. And the APC formally endorses Gbajabiamila for speaker. Still talking about leadership of the 9th National Assembly. Let's move on now. From this day, let's go to the Vanguard. The Vanguard newspaper is the next one now. 9th National Assembly, fresh crisis looms in APC over leadership slots. As Buhari meets APC lawmakers-elect, Oshomole National Working Committee officials, and APC youth leaders reject National Working Committee's micro-zoning formula. A Bago campaign makes case for North Central as Niger Delta youths back Dogara for speaker. Quite interesting politics there. Vanguard. Now from Vanguard, let's go to The Nation. The Nation newspaper is saying, Buhari rallies APC reps for assembly leadership battle, and party presents Lawan Gbajabiamila for Senate president and speaker. Okay, from The Nation, let's go to Blueprint. Blueprint says on 9th National Assembly, APC settles for Gbajabiamila and confirms Blueprint's report and zones deputy speaker to North Central. In Abena, North Central deserves speakership, zone roots for Wase. Okay. And on Daily Trust is our next paper now. Let's see what Daily Trust is saying. Candidates grumble as JAMB gives update on UTME results. Okay. That's a deviation now, which is okay. Daily Sun is the last paper for this morning. Judge freed, arrested to face fresh charges. Drama as EFCC takes Ofili Ajumogobia into custody in court premises. Okay. Gentlemen, most of the papers this morning is talking about the leadership, the build-up to the leadership of the 9th Assembly is getting quite interesting with more names coming up one way or the other. And Razak, I'd like to start with you on this. Now, the president has met with leadership of the APC on one hand, and then they're trying to fine-tune how the 9th National Assembly will be. This is totally a different strategy from 2015.
3 years and 10 months were traumatizing for parliamentary and legislative exercise for Nigerians. We don't want to go through that again. The missing link is what APC is fixing now. What they didn't do in 2015, what they failed to do in 2015 that led us into this fiasco, parliamentary and legislative fiasco, is what they are doing now. So they are in line. And I am shocked that people say that executive, other people are dabbling into parliamentary issues. This is about Nigeria. If you don't dabble into it, you want America to come and fix our legislatures for us? You want someone in Africa, Gambia, to come and fix? It is about Nigerians. And Nigerians have a right to influence the person that will bring peace of mind to Nigerians. We don't want 7-month budget delay again. We don't want crisis between the executive. It's not necessary if both executive and legislature are doing the right thing. If they are doing the wrong thing, it might be on strategy of how to make peace, how to make life better for Nigerians. That's what they disagree. But when you disagree on petty issues that there's no benefit coming to me, this is not what President promised me. He promised me appointment. He promised me minister. He's not giving me contract. If it's on the basis of that, good riddance to bad rubbish.
Oh, it's smart. When it comes to, from the window of independence of the arms of government and also building institutions, a lot of people have argued that why don't you allow, it's good for the party to zone certain principles. It's a normal thing. It's been happening since so many dispensations now. But why not zone it to leadership positions to a certain zone and allow them, people within the zone, to decide who runs or who wins amongst them?
You see, in the first place, the executive will be doing good if they have a good harmony with who is at the aim of affairs in the National Assembly. Because, so that will enhance synergy within both. That is, okay, this is somebody that, yes, we have a good relationship with, that we have trust on, let us, so we can work with him. And in doing that, even before a bill gets into the National Assembly presentation, they would have discussed it with him. And because he is their man, because they have a very good symbiotic relationship.
Would that make the National Assembly a rubber stamp?
No. You see, it will only enhance the job for good governance. There is nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong in the legislative and the executive having an harmonious relationship, at least, most especially at the national, at the leadership level. However, I would have preferred a situation whereby we say, okay, we are zoning the principal offices to these various places. Within yourself, go and come with somebody that you think is capable. Now, you bring in somebody unilaterally and say, okay, this is who we want from your zone. It's not too good for Nigerian politics. Also, if APC is talking about zoning, I think they should have a rethink on whom they are presenting as speaker for the National Assembly. Because if you see an aspect to the House of Rep, okay, you see a section has been cut off. They are not in. They don't have the vice president. They don't have the president from that zone. They don't have even the national chairman from that zone. They don't even of their party anyway. Now, from the principal staff now, Senate, House of Rep, nothing is going to that zone. Either way, you see, that zone will feel cheated, they will feel left out.
But when it comes to sharing principal offices or political offices to zones, does that really necessarily translate to the development everyone is yearning for?
No. No, it does not. You see, in the first place, I am against the principle of zoning. Because I grew up in this country knowing fully well, and again, I'll probably want to use the issue of sports as an analogy. When we have the first set of Golden Eaglets, when they went to the under 17 World Cup, you see a particular region, that is, even let me even say Bendel State then, brought almost about 11 of those boys, the likes of Undoka Ogbade, Taiwo Enegua,
and you see all know the story.
And we all know the story. So if now you're not saying we want to zone, that even though if somebody is not too competent, we now want to bring him because of the spirit of zoning, it is wrong.
Okay, Razak, this issue of campaigns beyond the National Assembly, where we see on the pages of newspaper people campaigning, or some persons campaigning for offices at the National Assembly, where you have endorsements from youth groups and even from different places, people who are not even members of the National Assembly. How does that translate to the person winning?
Well, it's legitimate for people to do that. It's their right. And because they have taken the right away from the people to choose their leader, that's why it's strange to you. It's not strange. In fact, constituency by constituency should be recalled, not for the purpose of sending them out of the parliament, but a recall for them to debate. Who do you think will bring succor? Who do you think will bring peace to Nigeria? And because it has been absent in our politics for so long, so now the normal thing, the normal scenario is what you are witnessing today. Nigeria is a peculiar country. The question of zoning, we can't take it away. There are peculiar natures, cultures of people that someone in Igbo land will not understand about Yoruba people. There are peculiar nature of Hausa people that Yoruba will not understand. So if you take away zoning from the peculiar politics we run in Nigeria, it's a bit primitive the way we run it now. But if you look at it from the principle of you can't understand my people more than me, I think it's in order. So given what is on ground now about the Igbo angle, where my brother has just mentioned, in booties of war, if you don't take part in the war, you can't share from the booty. It's a very sad reality that this is happening to our Igbo brothers.
All right.
But in the principle of let us carry everybody along, I think they should be considered.
All right.
In a way,
we look forward to the change in that dimension, where something new has to come on board, where it is focused at development for the entire country and not necessarily.
The speakership, Buhari APC adopted Gbajabiamila zone principal posts to North Central, Southeast, South-South. You can't reap where you didn't sow, Oshomole tells the PDP. And on the front of this day, I will protect independence of the legislature, says Lawan. Youth group backs Senator leader Ndume adamant despite losing Borno governor support. APC formally endorses Gbajabiamila for speaker. And on the front page of the Vanguard, night NAS, fresh crisis looms in APC over leadership slots. As Buhari meets APC lawmakers elect Oshomole National Working Committee officials, APC youth leaders reject National Working Committee's microzoning formula. Bago campaign makes case for North Central as Niger Delta youth back Dugara for speaker. The Nation now. Buhari rallies APC reps for assembly leadership battle. Party presents Lawan Gbajabiamila for Senate President Speaker. And blueprint now, night NAS. APC settles for Gbajabiamila, confirms blueprints report. Zones Deputy Speaker to North Central. Nabena, North Central deserves speakership. Zone routes for Wasi. And on the front page of Daily Trust, candidates grumble as JAM gives update on UTME results. The Daily Sun now. Judge Freed arrested to face fresh charges. Drama as EFCC takes Ophelia Jumogobia into custody in court premises. Now, gentlemen, this story is almost on all the front page of the newspapers this morning, as that's talking about the 9th Assembly. The race hot up, and the president has thrown his weights behind the APC, adopting Gbajabiamila and the other candidate for the Senate. Now, one thought, or many Nigerians thought, that the president was not going to have a say when it comes to the adoption of a candidate from the party, and suddenly he has adopted Gbajabiamila right now for the role of the Speaker of the House of Reps. Now, how do you think the president coming in now, and he is saying that maintain unity and the position of the party?
That line of thought is very strange to me. To say that president should not be part of the process that will lead to who will lead.
Many Nigerians thought, because he
No,
seemed not to be interested.
I'm in Nigeria, but I'm not thinking in that line. I have many like me who share my thoughts with me or who have similar views with me that we are in line. See, failure to do this, the trauma of that 3 years is still fresh in our memory. We are still grumbling under it. Now, look at it. Parliament, with speed of lightning, they are trying to pass the budget. Maybe they have even passed it now because of the severance allowance. But there was a time in the last 3 years and 11 months that they never see reason why they have to do that. And many Nigerians are groaning. There are people who don't have direct relationship with government in terms of business they do. But the ripples effect affect every Nigerian. The beautiful and robust program of APC was almost destroyed and frustrated by the characters of the parliament. So the president is in line. Party is in line. Nigerians, as look at this party, they are
think that they will be able to deliver on the party's projects this time around?
Yes,
with
if
all
they
of
don't do
this?
if they don't do this, they will frustrate the party's program. And is the more reason, party knows the profile of all their members, and they know that who among them is more patriotic and have the capacity to carry out the party program. That's why they are involved.
All right. Let's get your view on this now. The president is saying maintain unity, and the program of the party, maintain unity. How important is unity with regards to this? Because you know that there are still some elements who, or some persons rather, who are aggrieved with the zoning. How the party went about zoning.
Let me just quickly say this. You see, you cannot be beating a child and be asking the child not to cry. That would be double punishment. You cannot be saying they should maintain unity when you have not done the right thing. You see, like I've said earlier on, zone the position. Say, okay, we want the speaker from this area. Zone it to that area. Allow those within that area to come up with a credible person among their means. But when you say this is the person that we want, that means you have determined whom you want, and you're not asking also, suppose that person No. What if you think that is the person you can work with and not the person who we can work with? So I fought I fought the style of the ruling party to just unilaterally impose somebody and say, okay, go and work with this person. They should have allowed them to say, look, we have zoned it to this zone, go and bring somebody among you.
Perhaps if they hadn't done
But however, again, you see, Mr. President is interested now, perhaps because he knows it's on his last lap. And you see, this is last lap will determine the future of APC. The reason is because they must get it right now. Their bills must be assent to with speed, taking in mind that, of course, the National Assembly should not be, will not be a rubber stamp, however, but they must have somebody that can quickly do their bidding, that if we want this, there are so many bills pending before the National Assembly that they have not consent to for almost 4 years now, and it is not likely they will even consent to it before their tenure elapse, which is almost at hand. So, to get it right, Mr. President is in order. And thank God this time he did not say I can work with anybody. He realized that he cannot work with anybody, that he can only work with somebody that has credibility. So that is why they are trying to do what they are doing now. So Mr. President is in order. The APC is in order. But however, they probably could have done it more better if they have asked within the zone that they have zoned the position to, for them to come up with a credible person.
Buhari APC adopt Gbajabiamila as zone principal post to North Central, Southeast and South-South. You can't reap where you didn't sow, Oshomole tells PDP. Okay, from Daily Times, let's get to this day. I will protect independence of the legislature, says Lawan. Youth group backs Senate leader Ndume adamant despite losing Borno governor's support. And APC formally endorses Gbajabiamila for speaker. That's what this day is reporting. Let's go to the Vanguard. 9th Assembly. Fresh crisis looms in APC over leadership slots. And as Buhari meets APC lawmakers elect Oshomole National Working Committee officials. And APC youth leaders reject National Working Committee's micro-zoning formula. Embargo campaign makes case for North Central as Niger Delta youths back Dogara for speaker. From the Vanguard, let's go now to The Nation. The Nation newspaper. Buhari rallies APC reps for assembly leadership battle. And party presents Lawan Gbajabiamila for Senate's president and speaker. From The Nation, let's go to the blueprint, which is still on the National Assembly, the 9th National Assembly. APC settles for Gbajabiamila, confirms blueprint's report. Zones deputy speaker to North Central. And Nabena, North Central deserves speakership. Zone roots for, that's zone roots for one say. All right, from the blueprint, let's go to the Daily Trust. Candidates grumble as JAMB gives update on UTME results. Okay, from the Daily Trust, let's go to the final one now. The Daily Sun is saying Judge Freed arrested to face fresh charges. Drama as EFCC takes Ophelia Jumogobia into custody in court sentences. All right, gentlemen, most of the papers this morning are focusing on the tussle, the build-up to the 9th National Assembly. I'd like us to look at the task ahead of the National Assembly. From the 8th National Assembly, we saw budget delays here and there. It took time to pass most of the budget in the past 4 years, and due to one thing or the other, it was a back and forth between the National Assembly and the presidency. But if we have to go into the 9th National Assembly, projecting further, what do you think should be unique or is going to be unique ahead of the... Razak, I'd like to start with you on this.
The first thing is to try and build the lost confidence in them.
Okay.
Once they have the goodwill from the people, what becomes is that even when they have difficulties in their assignment, people will surely understand with them. I don't know what they will do to achieve that, but if they are genuine, it will reflect. Nigerians will know that these guys are truly genuine. Then they have to bring pro-people's bill, popular bill, that will have direct effect on the life of Nigerians. Because as you and I talk, the most popular arm of government is the parliament, at the parliament. They are so unpopular, just like the hatred we have for the NEPA of those days and the police, which is back to understanding and likeness because they built the PSN has brought, the power sector has built the goodwill, and they will understand the challenges that they have. So they have to do that too. Once they do that, Nigerians will naturally give them a long group so that we will listen to them, even if they have challenges. We will understand. If there are news that someone is coming to do Badagry Road, they will be shook up. People won't protest. There will be no fight. But if they don't do that, that goodwill back.
Okay.
The picture of who they are in the past will still haunt them
again.
and reflect between the relationship they have with the people and the executive.
All right, smart. There were so many pending issues before the 8th Assembly, which Nigerians would like the 9th Assembly to look at. There were issues of electoral reform. There were the issues of restructuring. There were so many other pending issues which Nigerians see as very central to the development that we are looking for.
First, in having, it is sad that the 8th Assembly that we have, because there was no harmony, there was no relationship between the National Assembly and the executive. I had looked forward to I'm looking forward to a National Assembly that will perhaps quarterly have a retreat between the executive and the legislative, that they will come together maybe for 3 days, go somewhere, discuss critical nation-building measures, and how they could quickly go back. The National Assembly, first, they have an oversight. They will put this law in place. They will probably now have an oversight on these laws that they have introduced, that the executive have signed into law, and see if they are carrying it out. That is what we could do to have a National Assembly that will have a direct impact on the masses.
Will such kind of retreats make a difference when it comes to passing laws and looking at all of those things? Because under former President Goodluck Jonathan, there were instances where there were retreats. They went to Calabar for a retreat different times.
When you look at between Goodluck Jonathan and Buhari, you see there are some sharp contrasts.
Of course, they're two different people. So.
Because you see, the National Assembly then, at least to a large extent, we are doing the bidding of the executive. Even then, there is this underlying faction that, for every bill they send a Ghana must go with it, which is not confirmed. But however, we had that completely different. So as far as I'm concerned, what worked then, I think, is the effect of that retreat that they're having. You see, you must dialogue. There must be fraternity between the executive and the legislative. If you don't have this, then the nation will not move forward. And again, we cannot afford this nation cannot afford again to go through a National Assembly that will not be friendly with the executive for another 4 years. I'm not sure this nation will.
All right, Razak, when it comes to the issue of constitutional amendment, that aspect of the Nigerian nation or the polity is still hanging somewhere, that Nigerians are still expecting something drastic to be done to the kind of laws, some of the kind of laws we have.
Well, there's no guarantee of prosperity for Nigeria if you don't restructure it. That's a fact that has been established. When we started 20, 25 years ago, people thought it was an unpopular. But we now realize that this constitution can't take us anywhere. All over the world, they took time to study Nigerian constitution. They said, how are you able to run your country with this kind of constitution? So it is important for the sake of the nation to look into the constitution, because there are so many contradictions.
So that will be the task ahead of the 9th.
The task ahead of the 9th Assembly,
right.
Yes.
Razak Olokoba, thank you very much for coming.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Right. You're watching TVC Breakfast, and we're streaming live on YouTube. You can connect with us on Twitter using the hashtag